I never really considered myself to be a trophy hunter before. Any platinums I got were just because I absolutely loved a game and wanted to see everything it had to offer. Or it was a Telltale game, and while Sonic Generations permanently raised my blood pressure, I still had fun with it. So I think it's time to try and get into another beloved franchise by adding its platinum trophy to my collection. Instead of Sega's beloved poster boy, I want to look at an icon of Sony's past. Spyro the Dragon was developed by Insomniac Games for the original PlayStation, and he quickly became one of the faces of the platform along with Crash Bandicoot. But since the first Spyro game came out in 1998, it doesn't have any trophy support. Luckily for me, that's where Toys for Bob comes in. Wait, why is that name familiar?
Leave me alone! Akira!
Regardless of any crimes they may have committed against Spyro in the past, Toys for Bob is the studio behind the Spyro Reignited trilogy, a collection of the first 3 Spyro games remade from the ground up for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Thankfully, Toys for Bob also added trophies and achievements to each game in the collection, with Spyro the Dragon having 37 trophies up for grabs. The strategy for this trophy hunt is split into 2 simple steps. 1. Enjoy the game without trying too hard for any trophies, and 2. Run through the game again to clean up the rest of the trophies. There aren't any trophies that you can lock yourself out of, so it means I won't need to restart if I miss one trophy. The game begins with a TV interview of some dragons talking shit about Nasty Narc live on air.
I've come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker.
Naturally, Narc is less than happy, so he casts a spell and traps all the dragons in crystal. But fortunately, our boy Spyro is able to avoid this. How? I don't know, he's purple. From here we play as Spyro on his journey to save all the dragons and defeat Nasty Narc. The game is comprised of 6 homeworlds, each with around 5 levels contained within them. Each level in the game has a trophy connected to it, with a few extra trophies for getting all the collectibles. The collectibles I have to search for are gems, stolen dragon eggs, and crystallized dragons with their own unique name and voice line that plays upon releasing them.
Blue passport.
I'm starting this run with 5 trophies already earned, because I've tried to get into this game a few times over the past few years. But to keep the run legit, I've re-met the requirements for each trophy, so I'll start with these first. Immediately upon starting the game, we can jump on some stones by this waterfall in the Artisans homeworld to unlock the entrance to Sunny Flight, getting hop, skip and jump. And now that the first flight level is unlocked, I'm gonna leave it alone. Now onto an actual level, Town Square. Within this level there's a secret area with an egg thief that you can only get to by gliding from a tower. For getting here, we get Leaf on the Wind. In Stone Hill, we can earn a trophy called Sheep Kebab for lighting 10 sheep on fire. You know how the original PS1 game ends with the line, "No sheep were harmed during the creation of this game"? Yeah, no. In order to get to the boss of a world, you need to beat at least one other level within that world. The boss of Artisans is Toasty, a scarrow with a scythe surrounded by the most annoying dogs I've ever seen in a video game. To get the trophy Burnt Toast, you need to kill Toasty without being hit by him. I thought you had to avoid being hit in general, so I spent way too much time restarting the level from the start for a trophy that I already had. Time well spent. And the last trophy I got before starting this run is Boom. This is just for using the balloonist to get to another world for the first time. And with those out of the way, I can make a start on some new trophies. Starting with the trophy in Dark Hollow, Light My Fire. We get this for lighting these 2 bonfires. After Dark Hollow, it's time to move on to the next world, Peacekeepers. The homeworld is full of Narcs firing cannons at each other and eventually you. If we burn down a tent with a Narc in it, they'll start taunting us. For shooting a taunting Narc with a cannon, we get Shoot the Moon. Within the Peacekeepers world, 2 of the levels have vultures which swoop down at you when you get close. For flaming all of them in Cliff Town, we get Birds of a Feather. And because I charged one in Dry Canyon, I got Bird Brained. At Ice Cavern, I'd hit a wall. So far I'd been getting every gem and dragon in the levels that I played, but combing through the levels from top to bottom was just getting boring. So I decided to come back for any missed collectibles during my trophy cleanup. In this level you can find 3 skiing Narcs, and for killing all of them we get the Triathlon trophy. The next boss in the game is Dr. Shemp. You can't flame him normally because of his armor, so you have to time your attacks while avoiding his staff. Since he actually moves to different areas within his level, he's slightly more competent than Papu Papu from Crash Bandicoot. While in this level, for finding the hidden key and unlocking this chest, we get What's in the Box. Upon entering the Magic Crafters world, we're faced with 4 armored druids who can't be flamed. For charging through all of them in a row, we're rewarded with the Coming Through trophy. And to make it as convenient as possible, they even decide to get into formation for us. In Alpine Ridge, the Pop of the Tops trophy is earned for setting off the explosives on these 3 platforms without dying. In Wizard Peak, we're introduced to supercharge ramps. These give Spyro a speed boost while charging, which lets him kill otherwise unkillable enemies, destroy strong boxes, and pull off some insane jumps. After jumping to this secluded platform and killing the hiding egg thief, we get Egg Hunt. One kind of unkillable enemy in the game is the metalback spider. These can't be killed by anything other than supercharges and getting the super flame by using this to kill every spider in high caves, we get the Arachnophobe trophy. And the boss of the Magic Crafters world is Blowhard. It's pretty much the same formula. Follow him through the level, hit him 3 times, you're a hero. For getting all 400 gems within this level, we're rewarded with the Gatherer trophy. The next world on our journey is the Beastmakers. The Beastmakers' homeworld and the levels contained within it feature 6 trophies, 5 of which I missed during my first playthrough, so they're being added to the cleanup list. The one trophy I was able to get was Launch Date for jumping off every ramp in the Treetops level. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get anywhere near the 100% requirements for this level because you need to chain together multiple supercharged jumps in a row, and it's harder than you'd think. And with a disappointing trophy count for the Beastmakers under my belt, it's time to move on to the Dreamweavers. Within the Dreamweavers' homeworld, there's a magic cannon being fired from the center of the starting area. If it hits you, you die. If it hits an enemy, it changes their size. On the path towards the castle, there are 3 armored fools who get shrunk, and for charging through all of them in a row, we get Fool's Errand. The next trophy I got within this world was All Puffed Up for charging through 4 puffer birds in a row in Lofty Castle. And the last trophy I got in the Dreamweavers world was Bad Doggies. The level Dark Passage is full of transforming demon dogs.
Hey,
For killing 3 of them while in their large forms, we're rewarded with the trophy. The final world in the game is Nasty's World. This world is completely different from the others as it doesn't have as many levels, and its levels need to be completed in a certain order. And the first of these is Narc Cove. If we're able to finish the level without killing any rats, we get the Rat-tastic trophy. And the final level before Nasty Narc is Twilight Harbour. To get the trophy in this level, I need to destroy all 6 gears scattered across the level. But after scouring the level top to bottom, I couldn't even find a single gear. So I'll hunt them down in the cleanup section. With Twilight Harbour finished, it's finally time to confront Nasty Narc. He stood on a platform that's slightly higher than Spyro's able to jump. So instead, we need to grab a key from one thief to open a door so that we can grab a key from another thief to unlock the stairs to Narc. And once we're finally able to reach him, Narc adopts the strategy of the most annoying enemy in the game. And if you die, you're sent back to the very beginning of the level, so it's pretty much just a constant cycle of chasing thieves. After spending way too much time chasing people, Nasty Narc has been defeated, which means we get nothing. That's better. After finishing the game's story, I only have 47% of the game's trophies, which means it's time to do some cleanup, starting with okay, that might be a bit dramatic, but the flying levels are easily the worst part of the first Spyro game. The combination of Spyro's flight controls, the tight spaces that you need to maneuver, and the inconsistent hitbox of Spyro's flames are just enough to make me actually hate these levels. But since the gem counter for these levels counts towards the overall total, and each flight level has a trophy connected to it, completing them is non-negotiable. Every flying level has its own objectives to destroy, such as chests and flying Narcs. You need to destroy all of them before the timer reaches 0, with each object destroyed restoring a few seconds to the timer. If your time reaches 0, you need to do the entire level again. So the only thing to do is to spend time learning the layout of the levels and trying again and again. Or I could take a shortcut. Okay, so I looked up the optimal route for every flight level, but it really didn't help me all that much. On the plus side, once a flight level has been completed, you're able to replay the level without the time limit, which is the ideal time to go for the trophies in each level. Beginning with Sunny Flight, we get the trophy Barnstormer for doing a loop around a bridge. The trophies Hot Wings 1 and Hot Wings 2 are rewarded for flaming all the fairies in Night Flight and then in Crystal Flight. And for the last 2 flying level trophies, you just need to finish the levels without touching the ground. This is pretty much a requirement just to finish the levels within the time limit anyway, so I just had to spend some more time optimizing my routes. For Wild Flight, we get I Believe It Is Time For Me To Fly, and for Icy Flight, we get Fly Like an Eagle. I know I've kind of rushed through the flight levels here, but I really don't have that much to say about them, and they took way longer than I'm comfortable admitting. With the purgatory of the flight levels behind me, it's time to work on getting every collectible in the game to unlock the final secret level, Nasty's Loot. That means I need to rescue 80 dragons, collect 12 dragon eggs, and collect 12,000 gems. So while finishing off the collectibles for every level in the game, I got a few more trophies towards the total. While getting 100% in all the Beastmakers levels, I decided to find and flame the 5 glowing mushrooms in the home world, getting the trophy Mushroom Hunter. It turns out that while playing the story, I completely missed the Misty Bog level. Since each world is locked behind collectible totals, you could probably make it to Nasty Narc without seeing half the levels if you tried hard enough. While finally making my way through Misty Bog, I freed a chicken from a cage, getting cage free. Circling back to the Metalhead boss fight, there's a trophy for collecting all 500 gems within the level. During my first run through, I couldn't find the last gems for the life of me. It turns out that they're hidden behind the waterfall in the final area, and after collecting them, we get gems in the rough. Back in Twilight Harbour, for destroying all 6 gears that are hidden in the dumbest places imaginable, we get...
You know what really grinds my gears?
After this, there's just 1 level left to get all the gems in, and... It turns out that the only thing keeping me from Nasty's loot and 100% completion is a single gem in Lofty Castle. I guess there's nothing left to do but search the level top to bottom. I don't think I can express the sheer amount of joy that I felt after finally finding this last gem. It might just be down to me having terrible eyesight, but my god, this took longer than it ever should have done. But with all the gems collected, we finally unlocked Nasty's loot, and for just gaining access to the level, we get I'm in the money. Nasty's loot is just like the main levels, with the only difference being that Spyro can fly like in the flight levels. With a name like Nasty's loot, you'd imagine there's a fair bit of treasure to grab, and you'd be right. With a massive 2,000 gems in the level, we're going to need to collect all of it for one of the final trophies. The only enemies in this level are 3 thieves, each with a key that grants access to more areas containing loot. So after this level, I'll never have to chase another thief again. If we ignore the portal to return home, we can find the final part of Norg's stash. This is where he's been hiding and planning his crusade the entire time, surrounded by posters displaying motivational messages such as imagination rhymes with devastation. Patience is for dragons. And knowledge is the power to turn dragons to crystal. And with the final chests hidden within a shrine, we've collected all 2,000 gems in Nasty's loot for the Hoarder trophy. With every gem in the game collected, we're treated with a final cutscene ending the interview shown at the beginning of the game.
I certainly wouldn't want to spend the rest of my dragon days butting heads with Nasty Narc and his weird minions. What's a minion?
And this would be a really satisfying place to get the Platinum Trophy. But unfortunately, I didn't think that far ahead and there are 3 trophies left to grab. The first of the final trophies is found within the Jacques boss level in the Dreamweavers. If we go left from the beginning of the level, we can find 4 nightmare beasts stood on adjacent platforms. For killing them all in one glide, we get Jacques-tacular. Keeping with the theme of boss levels, while chasing Nasty Narc, if you don't hit him in time, he runs away and completes the same loop around his level. If we just keep chasing him and let him complete 5 laps, we can get the trophy drag on and on and on. Yeah, more like dragging my nut. In Lofty Castle, we need to use the Super Flame to kill every tin soldier in the level for the trophy Scrap Metal. And with that done, there's just 1 trophy left to get, Rocketeer. All you need to do for this trophy is light 3 fireworks within 15 seconds. I thought I saw a few perfect places to do this during my playthrough and missed them. But fortunately, there's an area in Terrace Village with fireworks that respawn. After the saddest bonfire night ever, I got the last trophy. And with no more trophies left to grab, I can have the Platinum Trophy Nasty's demise to my collection. By doing this trophy run, I've grown to really like Spyro as a game, and luckily there are 2 more games in this collection for me to try. If you enjoyed this, I might complete the platinum runs for the rest of the trilogy, and potentially any other Spyro games that also happen to have trophy lists.